In today's video, we will be building a roughly £200 gaming PC featuring a 6-core 12-thread Ryzen CPU and the GTX 980. So quickly what we'll do is we'll go over the parts right now, we'll do a little build montage afterwards, and then right at the end we'll have all those gaming benchmarks for you guys, so you'll be able to see how this gaming PC performs. But first up, let's talk about the motherboard bundle that we've got. So we've got a pretty decent bundle here. The bundle or so cost me about £80 or £90. So the CPU is our 6-core 12-thread. It's our Ryzen 5 1600X. So, you know, it's only first gen Ryzen, so it's not like absolutely, you know, like amazing in terms of like a Ryzen 5 5600 or something. Certainly the game performance won't be that impressive in terms of getting like a high-end graphics card, but we're not going with a high-end graphics card in this build, so that won't be a problem. And we have put our stock cooler on here, but in the footage you'll see I used a different cooler, but I didn't like that cooler, so I decided to use the stock cooler instead. The motherboard of choice is an ASUS Prime B450M. It's the M-K motherboard. So a pretty basic motherboard here. It's gonna do the job that we need. It is basic. It's only got one M.2 slot. It hasn't got any support for ARGB headers or anything like that for ARGB fans. But we're not going to be using that in this case either, so that's not a problem. And then for our RAM is a 16GB kit of 2x8GB of Corsair Vengeance LPX, so pretty much standard here, clocked at 3200 MHz, so again sort of standard for Ryzen, 3200 MHz I'd say. Either that or 3600 MHz is also good as well. It's CL16 as well, so pretty decent timings and what have you. Pretty decent kit of RAM, it's okay, it'll do the job. Now moving on to our graphics card, this is a GTX 980. So yes, obviously quite a few generations old now, pretty old this graphics card, but it is going to hold up okay. It's only 4GB of VRAM as well, which is going to really limit us in terms of those sort of more modern titles, but again with this PC we're not really going with modern titles here, so we should be fine. It's an okay card and it will do. Annoyingly it does only have like the mini display outputs and stuff, the mini HDMI and all that sort of stuff, so it is a bit frustrating in that sense, but it's okay. I mean, we won't actually resell. We won't resell it with that graphics card. We'll actually put in, and this is hopefully in next week's video, a GTX 1070. That's what I want to upgrade it to eventually, but we'll get to that in next week's video. Now we have the power supply, pretty just standard here, just an MSI Mag A650BN, so a 650 watt power supply. Going to do what we need it to do, and that's pretty much all you need to say about it. So yeah, it'll do the job. Usually these are about £45 on Amazon currently, so they're a good solid unit for that price. 80 plus bronze as well, all good there. And next and final PC component is this CiT Quake case. So this is a very budget case. I think it's only £35. At least I got it for that price. It has this kind of light at the front, mystic light sort of thing. I've forgotten what it's called now, but anyway. It also has an ARGB fan at the back, and it's a mirror effect. It's like it's like an ARGB mirror effect at the front. So yeah, that'll be okay. So I think that pretty much is the parts now. What we're going to do is jump into the build montage, build this PC up, and then we'll be back with those gaming benchmarks, guys. So we'll see you in a bit. into those gaming benchmarks and we see what this PC can actually do in games, we're going to take a little look and just sort of say a few things about the build. So overall, the build was pretty simple. The back panel went on fine once I finished the build. No real hiccups, no real problems here. I'll show you the cable management at the back. It probably needs a little bit of cleaning up here and there, but generally I've just done not really much, and I've just put a couple of cable ties here and there, and everything's just gone into its place. There's plenty of room at the back here. The back panel easily goes on, as I said. So actually, real plus from CiT, CiT Quake generally is quite a decent case. Now I will say, the big negative point and the big problem with this case. The actual case itself, there's nothing wrong with, and it's great. The problem is as you can see here at the back, this fan I put in, which is an NZXT fan, which is a black fan, and it isn't the original fan, and I'll just get that now. So here's the original fan, which is the ARGB fan. Now, when I did the ARGB, you know, when I switched it on first time, I was like, what is this racket? Because obviously it's SATA powered, there's no separate fan cable, this just goes into the back of the main cable which connects to the front here, the infinite mirror sort of thing, or infinity mirror should I say. So yeah, this fan was going at absolute 100% speed, and it was absolutely the loudest thing I think I've heard in a PC. So if you are going to go with this case, I would highly recommend just disconnecting your fan here. It's quite simple. There's literally just a little connector here at the bottom. You can just simply pull that out at the back. If there's a little bit of interference and noise here, I do apologise, but we've got to carry on with the filming. So basically, yeah, you just take out the fan cable here. I've just put in a stock NZXT fan, which I've got from NZXT, a previous NZXT case that I had, which is very quiet and very nice. But obviously now you just have the infinity mirror at the front, which works fine actually, and there's no ARGB fan at the back, but that's perfectly fine in my opinion. So yeah, like I said, our graphics card easily fits in there. There's plenty of room for even a longer graphics card than we have. As I said previously, we do have a GTX 1070 hopefully coming in time for next week's video. I'm hoping it will be here, but if it's not, then it's not, and I do apologise guys, but we will try and get that in time for you next week. And yeah, I do think this is actually a really nice build, and I think it's pretty clean, and it's actually come out quite alright. It's obviously very budget, like I said, about £200, but it's an overall decent build. Now, stop talking too much, Michael, and let's get to those gaming benchmarks, eh? So here we are guys, Fortnite first. We're at 1080p, unlimited frame rate. The graphics quality is set to low, and the TSR is low, the anti-aliasing. Just sitting here right now, we're sort of sitting around about 90 frames per second. Our GTX 980 is about 70 degrees, so not too bad temperatures there. Our Ryzen 5 1600X sitting at 53 degrees there, so not bad either. There's not much usage on that though, so that's all cool. As you can see, there are a few drops, but this is kind of normal for Fortnite. So yeah, let's just get onto the ground, and we'll see how we get on. Now, Fortnite is quite temperamental, like I said, for connections and what have you, and I haven't got the best connection here. I've got enough. It's decent enough, but it could be better. I'm only using Wi-Fi here as well, so that's obviously having a bit of an issue. If I use the Ethernet straight from the router, that would help. I would certainly advise that if you can, if you've got that, to do that. So yeah, around about 100 FPS or so we're running at. 1% low is around 85. Now we are having one or two little drops, but again, this is fairly common for Fortnite. But I think it is going to stabilise, and it does seem to be about at least 88 stabilising now on the 1% low. So that should be all good. There's always going to be the odd little freeze frame or little bit of a stutter. It's unfortunately it's down to the game really more than the actual hardware here. So hopefully we can see someone here soon and get into a bit of a fight. Oh, here we go. There's a fight. Oh, I'm gonna get done here. I'm gonna get done here. There we go. Nope. Oh, there we go. As you can see, I'm not very good at Fortnite, but anyway, yeah. As you can see, it was generally performing pretty well there. We got a couple of drops, but it's okay. Now, some people have said to actually do this on camera, the benchmarks, rather than do benchmarks where I actually pre-do them and then obviously tell you the benchmarks afterwards. But I think this might be a little bit of a better way. Let's go into Shadow of the Tomb Raider now and see if that's any better. So we're going to set 1080p low here. 1080p low. So let's get that up. So I've just loaded up a new game here with Shadow of the Tomb Raider. I didn't have an existing one going, so we'll just see how this is. So we're about 100 right now, so let's get the benchmark going here. So yeah, little few drops here, but generally you're going to see that this game sort of holds its own a bit more. It's a single player game as well, so it's not online, so that will help as well. Overall, yeah, I mean, what, 72 is the very lowest that we've had there, so pretty much this is going to be very playable with the 980 and the Ryzen 5 1600X. There we go, we've made it to the top. I think we'll move on from here now. So we jumped into Starfield here. If we just go into the settings, display. So we're basically all on low here. We can put the custom preset to low just in case. Right, I'm not quite sure why it's quite so low. This is like really bad. But maybe this is actually the performance of the 980. As you can see, the performance is pretty shocking. I mean, this is only 11 FPS. This isn't even playable. Let's have a little play again with the settings. But okay, put motion blur off. Anti-stropic. Can we go any lower than that? No. We've got FSR on, so that should be fine. No, that's not really helped at all. So yeah, I'm on 980 here with the Ryzen 5 1600X. I mean, I don't think many people are playing Starfield now anyway, so it doesn't really matter, I guess. But yeah, that's pretty poor. Not even 20 FPS there as an average. So I think really we just move on from this straight away, really. So let's go into the options of Forza Horizon 5 now. We'll see the display here. So for graphics, oh actually let's go to the video first of all. There we go, it's 1080p. Let's put this on locked. Save that. Video. Graphics, sorry. Preset we'll put as low. We'll save that. And we'll just continue, so we'll load up our game. So we're sitting about 100, a little bit lower maybe. We're just in the night here, so probably there's not too much to actually render here, so that's not too bad, but let's kind of push it a little bit more. We have had an 85 drop, and in fact we had a 12 frames per second drop as well, so there was a little drop there as well. But I think overall your 1% lows are going to be pretty solid in this game. Certainly more solid than other games, that's for sure. Certainly Fortnite's not got a solid 1% low, but this is about 86, so that should be the right amount. You might get the odd 12 here and there, or you might get the odd drop, but it's going to be like millisecond sort of drop, so that's going to be fine. You're not going to have a problem there. Even if you look at our Ryzen 5 1600X there, it's basically just ticking along at 5%, 10% or so. Although our 980 has got 99% usage, so that's fine. Yeah, Forza Horizon 5 is very good actually, and it's very well optimized, this game, and it's one of the better games for sure for optimization for the sort of newer titles. Well, fairly new titles. I mean, obviously now it's quite a low, it's quite an older title, but it's really well optimized and it's going to run really well on the 980, so very much a pass here. So Cyberpunk 2077 for our last game here. Our graphics will be set to low. We'll have the Fidelity FX Super Resolution to 2.1, and we'll put that as auto. We'll just leave it as it is. Obviously no ray tracing. And we're at 1080p full screen too. So here we are sitting in game now. We're around about 60 FPS on the GTX 980 1080p low here, as I just showed you with the settings. So let's just start doing something here. A little bit of a lows. We're 1% low of 37 with the 0.1% at 19. But we're sitting about 60 FPS quite happily here. So that's pretty good for the 980. You know, this is playable, unlike Starfield, which was just completely unplayable. But that is what it is, unfortunately, for a game that's just not optimized at all. So yeah, not bad. I mean, our GTX 980 is sitting at 70 degrees centigrade, so that's obviously pretty respectable. Our CPU sitting at 66, so it's a little bit high, but not nothing to worry about there. Got more or less 99% or nearly 100% usage on the GTX 980 here. Poof! Ah, yeah, had a little bit of a crash there, but no worries, guys. Yeah, so sitting about 60 FPS average here, so this is pretty good. Like I said, there's a drop to about 40 there. Oh, I want to continue this. And there is a 0.1% low drop to 17, but that's not too bad really, guys. So I think this pretty much just wraps it up, guys. I think. Oh, whoa, big crash. But yeah, I think that kind of wraps it up, guys. Hope you like this sort of different video. Please like the video to obviously help the algorithm. Please comment below. Oh, we're gonna get hit here. Bit of excitement for you guys here. Try and avoid the cops. So please like the video. Please comment on what you think of my build and what have you, and can you do it cheaper, or what changes would you make? And then obviously subscribe to see my future videos. And if I can outchase these cops, I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.